I'm Joe Averill. Jeanne Stapleton is an actress who does not need an introduction by me, so let's immediately meet her and
How do
say
you do,
hello.
Joe?
How are you? Nice to have you with us.
And it's good to be here.
So many things to talk to you about, so let's start with the obvious one of Edith Bunker and All in the Family. And
I don't think of that as the obvious one now, but it is because it's on so much in reruns.
Well, what do you think of?
Well, I think of it as in the past.
Really?
Yes, because I'm finished and did my few guest appearances and finished them last August, and whatever you see from now on is a rerun. I suppose that makes me, I am a rerun.
Well, I'm surprised you feel that way, because I certainly believe that most people, most Americans around the world, identify you with Edith Bunker.
Well, yes, I'm being reminded of that by the affection that Edith continues to receive on the street and elsewhere. But as far as I'm concerned, my immediate experience and what I'm doing is much more, of course, fresh to me.
Of course. Interested to find out, as we talked just before we started talking, that you're an active feminist. And I can't imagine a role that was more anti-feminist than Edith Bunker's role of being totally dominated and subservient to a man.
Well, you see, we actors do not choose parts according to our own convictions. We choose parts for other reasons.
Yeah.
If they're good and they're right for us and they evoke laughter, and we do them, you know. If a good statement is being made and if it's good material, that's why we accept parts. So I may often be in parts that don't match my own convictions.
Well, I think actually you made a perhaps more subtle and more sophisticated and more telling point about the role of many women in our society with such a role than if you had been stridently, pro-feminist.
Thank you for saying that. That's right. And also, with the collaboration, all of our collaboration, writers, actors, producers, and director, Edith evolved through those years, as everyone has seen, and began to assess herself with a little more dignity than she started out with.
Yeah, that's over 9 years, I think you said.
That's right.
Show ran.
Yeah.
And you never got tired of doing it, I was interested to hear you tell me.
No, not until the last year, which we thought was the last year. And then we were asked to do another year, and I thought, I have no reason not to. So, okay, we'll do another year. The middle of that year, that truly last year, I began to it was very clear to me that that was the end and should be. I was growing tired of it, and it was growing to be a chore rather than a stimulating experience, which acting should be.
It's so dramatic to have seen you, and I've seen you on other talk shows, to hear you speak in such a cultured tone, of course, and through the character of Edith, you had such a shrill. Was that easy for you to do?
Very easy, yes. It's one of the tricks in the bag, I guess.
Is that the first role you ever talked like that?
No, I stole from myself. I used it in very primarily, as I recall, in a musical called Damn Yankees, which Mr. George Abbott, one of your residents, directed. But it wasn't the same character. But I did use that nasal voice.
You know, I have a theory. I'll try it out on you to see if you agree. It seems to me that that people accomplish the best acting roles or portrayals when they most opposite their true personalities. In other words, they play best what they are not.
Well, I think that's true in some instances, but then again, especially in television, you find a lot of personality casting, and that's what I call it.
Yeah.
In which the actor exercises his craft, but does not have to stretch into facets of character that he doesn't have.
Right.
That's done a lot, that kind of casting in television.
The public does find it hard to grant you privacy. They do feel that they own you, and there's good reason for that, because for 9 years you were a part of their weekly routine, and they came to know you. How have you dealt with that loss of privacy?
Well, in very practical ways. Well, I try to keep my private life to myself. I don't discuss it when I'm interviewed or in the press primarily, and we keep it separate. Now, I receive great affection, and I receive wonderful mail, And I don't deny that is something very wonderful.
Sure.
But I know it's for Edith Bunker, that lovely character, and I'm basking in that. Now, as far as moving out in the world, I won't give up my ability to go out there. Well, I'm not a great sports fan, so I don't go to big events where there are great crowds.
Right.
And I go and find the remote part of the beach, you know, and I don't, when I'm moving around, I don't make eye contact, and I find that's a great protection.
Oh, that's interesting.
I move through stores and things, and I often am very well protected.
People
that way.
must say, did you see Jeanne Stapleton? She's in a daze all the time.
But it helps. And the thing that I really think is imposing is when people get out the camera, want to take a picture, and I hate to have my picture taken, I say no. Those who don't ask and try to take a picture, I think is very rude, and I point it out, I hope, kindly. And I think when you're in a deep conversation at a table having your meal and somebody comes up, I don't think that's too nice. If they really like me, they'd leave me alone. But
well, they have
all
such
they
a
ask
need.
for is that signature, and I think, well, that's not much to ask.
Do they? A lot of them ask for Edith Bunker signature?
Oh, no.
They want the...
Never.
That's interesting.
Isn't that interesting? And I'm glad of that.
Well, that would be the ultimate degradation
Yes,
for you if they
for
said,
me.
Please sign Edith Bunker.
Yes, no one has asked me to do that.
Well,
Isn't that wonderful?
Me. Yeah, but that does surprise me.
When they call Edith as a greeting, I turn around and I correct it. And I say, please, my name is Jeanne, you see. So I have to do that because...
Yeah. Let's talk about the medium of television for a moment. You played before a live audience with Archie Bunker.
For
right?
about 7 years we did.
So you did have the rapport of an audience. So it's a little more difficult for you to discuss the difference of doing a stage play because you're almost doing that on television.
True.
Not quite the same, but
Yes.
more than not. Do you still find it different, though, to be without the cameras and playing to a limited audience?
Oh, no, I don't. Oh, it's better. It's where it is. You have that, that experience every night with an audience is the ultimate, the El Dorado for an actor. That's it. That's theater. And it's wonderful. This tour has been great doing that. Yeah. And the audience is out here all over America. It's,
they are indeed.
It's really wonderful.
Yeah. I think America and life in general is better than television may let us believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
And of course, going in, though, and doing the show with an audience was a nice bridge for me with that audience there. It fed.
Yeah.
But when you're free, you don't have cameras, then you are in control, and the audience is nourishing you.
Great. Well, you have nourished us for many years. We're paid in a little small
Yes.
kind. Jeanne Stapleton, thank you very much. We
Thank
enjoyed
you,
it.
Joe.
Thank you. We'll be right back.